5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking in the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword micro to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say micro to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
This update is brought to you by the Connecticut Lottery. Now, play your favorite draw games at ctilottery.org. Odds vary by game, must be 18 or older to purchase. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. An arrest has been made in connection with an incident outside of a Stanford mosque. Police say 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday and was charged with second-degree breach of peace. Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and made derogatory statements to families who were outside. The state's attorney's office reviewed the case and decided not to charge Slocum with violating state hate crime laws. And the Fairfield national team plays their first game in the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. 10 teams from around the United States and 10 more from across the globe will compete in the double elimination tournament. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Region champion Lamar Littler League of Richmond, Texas. The game is at 7 p.m. and will be televised on ESPN. For the Voice of Connecticut, WICC, I'm John Kamal.
WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut weather update.
Another sunny and hot day on the way with a high of 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. There may be a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon, and the breeze light out of the southwest, shifting south late. A shower or a thunderstorm this evening. Fog after midnight. It will be a mild and humid night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot day in the upper 80s. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
It's time. Time for stimulating talk. Time for thought-provoking conversation. Time for the Lisa Wexler Show. Turn on your brain and get the real scoop on today's topics and events. Here is Lisa Wexler.
Hola, hola. Am I right in my headphones here? Is that right? Feels like my left one's better than my right one. Good morning, good morning. I have to get used to myself. Maybe it's this. No, it's that. I'm playing. Good morning. You know what? It's going to be a beautiful day, and it's going to be a really nice week. Paul Piorek is, pretty great weatherman. We're lucky to have him on WICC staff, and if he said we're going to have a great weekend coming up, we are. Although I did have to water the garden a little bit last night. I did, because it was very parched. And I'm paying a lot of attention because we've lost my gorgeous big spruce tree in the backyard, the one that is my Christmas tree in the backyard. And I'm really upset because it doesn't look like it can make it back from what was a really terribly parched last year. We've lost half of our rhodos. They're never coming back, the rhododendron. And I'm looking around now at the trees, and they look a little starved for water. And it usually is that way around this time of August. Everything looks a little parched. The grass looks a little bit like hay. We don't do the sprinkler thing on our lawn. We just don't. I don't like to waste the water on the grass. I don't. But I do feed vegetables and flowers and things like that. And the trees, of course, need to be watered. So we need a little bit of rain, the rain gods. 203-333-9422. We have an exciting show. We have the next generation of inventors, two wonderful young kids coming in from Ridgefield. They won at the Nationals for the Invention Conventions. And wait till you hear what they invented. Very exciting stuff, especially if you're a dog owner. Aging Gracefully kicks off at 11:05 with Dr. Allison. It says Amy, honey. But it's Allison. I knew that. Dr. Allison Ostroff. And Allison Ostroff is a geriatric specialist, a geriatrician. And this is the second geriatrician we've had on the show recently. We had so many phone calls and so many interests in the topic. We decided to invite another local, very well-regarded doctor to talk about aging gracefully. And why would you need a doctor who specializes in geriatrics for what things at what age? why that specialty is so important, what these people do. Wayne Winston joins us at 11:30. It's not just black and white. We're going to mix it up at 11:30 today. There's always so much news in the news to talk about. At 203-333-9422, I guess the biggest story is following up on our coverage with John Kamal. Tonight on ESPN, you can get a look at Fairfield's own Little League team. They have made it to Williamsburg, and now it's up or out. There are 5 games in the series, according to John Kamal, and it's single game elimination. So we've got to root them on. And honestly, it's so amazing that they're there. I mean, when you think about all the Little League teams in America, how good you have to be, these are the 12-year-old boys, how good you have to be to make it that far. It's very exciting. And the fact that they're on TV makes it even more exciting. Let's be honest. It makes it even more exciting. 203-333-9422. Okay. Now, there is a federal probe that is continuing with respect to Doug McCrory, who's a very prominent state senator in Hartford. What the issue is there is that a grand jury has been convened to look into taxpayer money from the state of Connecticut that was then directed to various not-for-profits in the state of Connecticut. And the suspicion, the inquiry, the smoke, which may have no fire whatsoever because Senator McCrory has denied anything bad happening to anything. But he apparently had a personal relationship with a woman who was at the directed a lot of these not-for-profits that may or may not be relevant to the conversation. The conversation and the proceedings, the grand jury investigation, burbled up from the bottom up because various not-for-profits, that deliver food and essential services and just essential community health services to Hartford, instead of getting their money the way they used to get their money, they found out they had to get their money through another layer of bureaucracy. And when they found out they had to get their money through another layer of bureaucracy, they said, why? Why? Why do we have to get our money this way when we used to get it that way directly? We're scratching our heads and it seems fishy to us. Now, somewhere, somehow that got investigated. I don't really know the murky details. I know Kevin Rennie has been on this, and so has Ed Mahoney from the Hartford Courant. And if you want the details of this, you can get into it. But right now, it is gurgling from up. And Doug McCrory's name keeps coming up in various articles about this. But again, he denies that he did anything wrong. And, his name may be completely exonerated. But the latest in this, the latest headline in this, is that a Hartford attorney has been named in a federal probe served on the McCrory campaign. So now they're taking it to an extra layer. Now they're just going deeper and deeper. They start to serve subpoenas. They start to want to investigate people. They start to want to depose people. We will see. 203-333-9422. You can call me at 203-333-9422. All right, let me see. Dime, que más. All right. And let me see. Oh, the attorney is a cannabis entrepreneur named Kevin Henry. He was named in a federal subpoena seeking information on Senator Douglas McCrory, Democrat of Hartford. And he was McCrory's deputy treasurer during the 2018 campaign. He donated a little bit of money here and there. Henry serves as a commissioner for Hartford's Housing Authority. That's a really big deal. The Housing Authority controls what dollars go towards building more state-supported affordable housing. He serves on the Boys and Girls Club Board of Trustees alongside Sansere Cicero Hamlin. She's the gal that is named in the federal probe. Authorities are seeking information regarding her professional and personal relationship with McCrory after the senator, he's accused, and this is according to Mark Fitch now of Connecticut Inside Investigations, according to this, McCrory is being accused of pushing hundreds of thousands of dollars of state dollars toward her nonprofit startup, which then became a gatekeeper, if you will. These are the allegations toward getting the money out to traditional nonprofits, and they wondered why they had to wait so long. So Henry shares a law partnership with fellow attorney Kevin Joyner, whose law office not only represented McCrory's ex-wife during their 2020 divorce, but has also represented the Hartford Economic Development Corporation in nearly a dozen court cases. Anyway, it goes on, and maybe you're not interested, and it really is very, very much in the weeds, and it may mean nothing about nothing, but we're just keeping an eye on it for you. It's one of these stories coming up from Hartford that has to do with the way our taxpayer dollars are spent. 203-333-9422. You can call me at 203-333-9422. UConn has closed 7 academic programs with a plan to review 70 more. And dozens more are being monitored for this coming school year alone. It's a review. Some faculty members are not happy. Naturally, their jobs are at stake. Ann DeLuva, UConn's provost and executive VP for academic affairs, presented an update, and she said it was good academic housekeeping. We want to identify programs that may no longer align with student interest. And we look at whether or not there's any enrollment, or whether or not there's enrollment, but there's not completion. And a lot of these programs are being cut due to the expiration of federal pandemic relief money. You know what? The spigot was opened. It was inevitably going to close. I'm curious to see which these 7 programs are for permanent closure. A graduate certificate in global health. A graduate certificate on obesity prevention and weight management. A graduate certificate in school law, or in another one in addiction services. Here's something that they're closing: a BA and BS in applied mathematical sciences and a BS in mathematics physics. Well, that's not good news, right? That's core academic, like you'd expect UConn to be able to offer a BA and a BS in applied math. Woo! That one would raise an eyebrow for me. An MA in politics and popular culture probably never should have been offered to begin with. An MA and PhD in medieval studies, not a great demand. Anyway, they had persistent low enrollment, limited demand, and lack of alignment with current university priorities. So there it is. They're streamlining. They're going to look at 70 more. It's a good thing to do. 203-333-9422. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk a little bit about historic bridges and an unpaid zoning fine, where Newark is the first in the state to seek recovery. We may get into a little bit about what's happening with electric rates, all very, very exciting, sexy things. I promise you we're going to get to sexy things, including the Milford Oyster Festival. Stay tuned.
There's $25,000 somewhere in Long Island Sound, and it could all be yours. The annual WICC Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth is back for its 43rd year, the weekend of August 23rd and 24th. The heaviest bluefish caught that weekend is worth $25,000, and there's more than $40,000 in cash prizes. Sign up now at bluefishtournament.com or your local bait and tackle shop. The WICC Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth. We'll see you on the Sound.
Thanks, Tri-City Home Solutions and Rinnai and Xfinity.
Tune in to the Lisa Wexler Show from 10 a.m. to noon and listen for The Doctor is In, your chance to ask prominent doctors from Northwell Health your questions on everything from bariatric surgery, cancer treatment, cardiovascular disease, gamma knife and robotic surgery, and more. Listen for behind-the-scenes, in-depth discussions with Lisa Wexler and the area's top doctors. Aside from treatment options, being informed is the best weapon against illness or disease. You might not know the best questions to ask, but Lisa Wexler does, and she'll ask them during The Doctor is In.
So COPD has 2 components, and both are related to smoking and air pollution and environmental exposure. If it affects the lung units, what we call alveoli, then that's what we call emphysema. And this is in our effort at Northwell regarding the COPD initiative to start screening them for COPD, because, yes, it's true, we're not diagnosing most of the patients that have COPD.
The Doctor is In with Lisa Wexler, featuring prominent doctors from Northwell Health.
Selling your home is a big decision. You deserve someone who truly listens and picks up the phone when you call. I'm Jonathan Carbeauty with Carbeauty Real Estate, and we make real estate simple. Whether you're ready to sell, just exploring your options, or even want a cash offer on your property, call me directly at 203-980-6886. No pressure, just real results.
Sell your home smoothly when you call Carbeauty. Go picks Post University? People who pick Post are people who believe in themselves and their potential. Post people want a school that helps them succeed on their terms, on their budget, and on their schedule. They want on-campus activities and online flexibility. Most of all, they want an education that could help prepare them for success in over 50 fields. Because when you're an Eagle, the sky's the limit. Are you a Post person? Find out now at post.edu.
Hi, this is David from Standard Oil. Do you know why Standard Oil was voted best oil company in Connecticut? Great service, day or night. If you have a heating emergency at 2 a.m., Standard Oil has service technicians who work through the night to ensure fast response to heating emergencies, usually within 2 hours. Most importantly, great service means truly knowledgeable technicians who care about customers. For great service, day or night, call Standard Oil or visit us online at standardoil.com.
If you're in the market for Michelin tires, get to Town Fair Tire and get them at the guaranteed lowest price. With Michelin's innovative technologies designed for durability and performance, you can trust you're getting the highest quality tires over all the toughest of road conditions. Plus, at Town Fair, you get free services for life. So if you're looking for the best deal on Michelin tires, get to Town Fair, because nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
You're listening to the Lisa Wexler Show, only on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
So what's happening is, so let me just fill you in on my life, because I'm a little bit what we call facciated, which is a little bit distracted. So I think I told you that my mother has been having some health difficulties. I'll tell you what it is. So my mom had this pain in her tush, and originally, of course, we thought it was what all pain in tush is, a little sciatica, a little muscle, whatever. Jill got so fed up because we kept going back to the doctor who said it's a muscle thing and it didn't go away, that we privately got her a CAT scan. We just went and got her a scan, and sure enough, this ugly tumor there. And it's very rare. It's called a chordoma. It's spelled CHORDOMA. It is a 1 in a million cancer tumor. 1 in a million. 1% of all cancers are sarcomas, and 1% of sarcomas are chordomas. So if you look it up, you're like, this says it's 1 in a million, right in Google. Naturally, leave it to us. And it hasn't spread. It's completely self-contained, but it's sitting to the right. It's sitting on her sacrum, and it's eaten up a lot of that bone. And it's your tail to the right. So it doesn't appear to be touching any of her spinal vertebrae, but it is so big, it's like a baseball, that it is now pressing enough on her nerves that she's been in a lot of pain. So we found a doctor, because God is amazing. The doctor, there are just maybe 2 or 3 doctors that operate on chordomas. It's that rare. And the doctor that operates on the most of them happens to have moved to Miami a year ago from Harvard Medical. He was in Harvard Medical and Mass General for 20 years, and about 9 or 10 months ago, he moved his entire team in his life down to the University of Miami, where he examined my mother, and he said, I've operated on people from 7 days old to 103. So the fact that your mother is 90 is not a problem for me, and I want to take out this baseball ugly thing, and she's going to be great. I've never seen a surgeon with such confidence. I spoke to the anesthesiologist later on. He's like, the benefit outweighs the risk, but you could need blood transfusion. She could do this. She could do that. I'm like, we know. She's 90 years old. She's had 5 heart procedures in the last 2 years, and a stroke, and pneumonia. And she's got some cognitive issues, and there isn't anything my mother hasn't done. But it's very interesting, and I'm going to follow this up with our gerontologist who's coming in, Allison Ostroff, soon. He said that you don't get to be 90. This is the surgeon, unless you're already very strong. He says he has patients in their 60s who are not as strong as patients in their 90s, because there's something about our genetic makeup and our constitution that we just don't get to be old unless we're able to fight and survive a lot of things. I mean, that's what he said. Anyway, so mommy's going into surgery on Tuesday. And that's been moved up. It was going to be Thursday. It was going to be September. All of a sudden now it's happening August 19th. We just got the news yesterday. This is what I want to communicate to you. So we've got a team behind mommy, because mommy can't function to do any planning whatsoever. She can barely get up and do her exercises and go back to sleep. But she's got me and Jill. She's got Liz, who we call the third daughter. Of course, my father, and a couple of aides. And it occurred to me this morning, and this is what I want to say to you in case you're facing anything like this, that before you go into surgery, there are a couple of musts that people don't talk about and doctors don't really tell you. So my mom has been on Eliquis every day since the stroke. Very common. You know what that is? It's a blood thinner. Many, many people over whatever age are on it. You don't go into surgery unless you've stopped your blood thinner for a few days. That's the first thing. And if you have anybody managing a parent's care or your spouse's care and they're putting the pills in the pill box unthinkingly because they're on routine, but you know you're having a procedure, it doesn't have to be a big deal surgery, any kind of procedure where there could be bleeding, you have to say to yourself, wait a minute, I got to stop that blood thinner for a few days. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is the vitamins. You think, oh, I need more vitamins, I'm going to surgery. You're taking fish oil. Fish oil promotes bruising. It is otherwise a wonderful thing to take. You don't take fish oil before you're going in for surgery. You don't take it before you're going in for Botox. It promotes bruising. So I'm just saying to you, because you know that I'm a DWD, I'm a doctor without a diploma. You know that, right? I'm a Jewish mother. I'm a doctor without a diploma. The fact is that if you're thinking about doing anything big on your body, take a look at what you take every day in the normal course, because you just may have to interrupt it for a few days. And my mother wouldn't have known. I know, and Jill knows. So we've instructed, the aides to take the stuff away from the pill box because we want to increase her odds of doing well on the other side. This is all by my long-winded way of telling you that I'm going to be disappearing for a while. I'm not going to be on the air from Wednesday of next week through the following Friday, August 29th. We're going to do best ofs and patchworks and more downloads and wonderful things. And WICC couldn't be more supportive. But I am between my mom. So what's happening is Abby, my little one, who I was supposed to babysit the last week of August, Joanna and Abby are coming down to Florida. So that during the day, I'm going to be with Abby while Joanna has to work. And in the evenings, I'm going to be going to my mother, who's going to be in the hospital or rehab. And then the week before, it's only mommy. So the bottom line is, I'm really the person who's got two arms out as a T, and I've got older on one side and younger on the other, and there's me in the middle. And me in the middle have just got to take a break from my regular life. So forgive me. That's why I will not be on the air the last week and a half of summer. But hopefully you'll be on vacation. You'll be enjoying yourself anyway. It is the last week and a half of summer. A lot of people are just, at the Cape or the Vineyard or wherever else you get to go. But I just wanted to explain what was going on. So I can relate, bottom line. I can relate to younger people with their struggles, older people with theirs, and I'm right in the middle. 203-333-9422. The 51st Annual Milford Oyster Festival is kicking off this weekend, August 15th, continuing on the 16th. It is now an evening-only festival. It will be held at Fowler Field, and it will no longer host events in Milford Green, but they're going to have oysters, naturally, food trucks, lobster rolls, sandwiches, and hot dogs with live acts and a lot of music and parking. So if you want to go there, go there. What is our best roadside attraction, according to HGTV? It's something called the Book Barn in Niantic. I've never been there. A must-stop spot off for internet. Is that the one with the old sign on the side of the road? I think it is. I think it's got a very old sign, and it attracts people. It is a red-sided, wood-slatted building stuffed to the brim with used and rare books. It holds hundreds of thousands of books. And it has different themed buildings for a variety of genres. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been to the Book Barn in Niantic off 95? It is the #1 best roadside attraction according to HGTV in Connecticut. It topped HGTV's list. Wow. In other New England top roadside attractions, there is a house made entirely of recycled paper in Massachusetts, the world's tallest filing cabinet in Vermont, and something called the Wild Blueberry Heritage Center in Maine. Never been, never been, never been, never been. Never, never, never been. Okay, what else is happening here? All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to have some fun because one of my favorite things to do is speak to creative innovators. And when those creative innovators happen to be young people from just around the corner, it's even more exciting. So I'm going to introduce you to two young people from Connecticut, from Richfield, who have invented something and how they invented their brother and sister, how they invented, what they invented, how they came to have such attention for what they invented. We're going to hear all about it coming right up. Stay tuned. 203-333-9422. It's the Lisa Wexler Show here on WICC.
For more of Lisa Wexler's views, sign up for her daily podcast.
Your business or service can reach thousands of listeners with The Lisa Wexler Show. Lisa's listeners are devoted and loyal. They should know how great your business is. Advertise on The Lisa Wexler Show. Lisa will work with you directly to craft a message that resonates with listeners. Plus, you'll get introduced to the members of The Lisa Wexler Show family. Advertise on The Lisa Wexler Show. Just email Lisa at voiceofct.com. That's Lisa at voiceofct.com.
Are you looking for a school for your child with a learning challenge? Winston Preparatory School is a leading school network for students with learning disabilities, including dyslexia, ADHD, and nonverbal learning disorders. Learn more about Winston Prep's highly individualized learning programs in Connecticut, Long Island, and New York that will help your child thrive. Visit winstonprep.edu for more information and schedule an in-person visit for a campus closest to you today.
Maritime Chevrolet of Fairfield Mobile Service Plus is the next generation of door-to-door maintenance and repair. Enhance your Chevrolet, GMC, or Cadillac ownership experience by making your vehicle maintenance easier. Our technicians come to you at home or work with Mobile Service Plus. Experience next-level service from Maritime Chevrolet in Fairfield. World-class technicians, superior professionalism, and customer care starts at MaritimeChevy.com. That's MaritimeChevy.com.
Safety, security, control, just some of the reasons to call Nick and his team at Property Protection Consulting. Hey, it's Melissa, and I use PPC for our doorbell cameras, smart thermostats, and surveillance cameras because they make my home and family feel safe and secure. Plus, everything is easy to operate. It's all on one app, and if something goes wrong, somebody from the team comes out right away. For security systems for your home or business, book a complimentary consultation with locally owned Property Protection Consulting at ppcalarms.com. Tell them Melissa sent you.
Join WICC 600 and City of Bridgeport's Standard Oil and Propane Backpack Give Back at 999 Broad Street, Bridgeport this Saturday, 10 to 1. Thanks to Abriola Parkview Funeral Home.
Where Stamford comes first for news and talk. The Lisa Wexler Show on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
And welcome back to the show. We are very excited to bring you some extraordinary innovators from the Connecticut Invention Convention themselves, Ian and Evelyn Klemowitz, and their mom, who is standing by in studio as well. Ian is a rising 7th grader at Scotts Ridge Middle School in Richfield, and Evelyn is a rising 8th grader, brother and sister. Congratulations and welcome, kids. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Speak loudly.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to project. Okay, so let me begin with you, Evelyn, because you're the older. Okay, first of all, have you always been an inventor?
I think that getting into inventing was something that was a really great experience and something that I've really enjoyed. So yeah.
I just want to see something about the mics. Ian, can you speak into the mic for a sec?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That sound good?
It sounds fine. You're 2. There's 3 and 4. Very good. Okay, so you guys are brother and sister.
Yes.
Have you always been able to work collaboratively on stuff together?
I think that there are disagreements as will happen, and we haven't done an invention together, but I think that we kind of help bounce ideas off each other, and like as does everyone in the family when we're going through the invention process, just to say like, would this work or would this work?
Is it just the 2 of you? Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ian, let me start with you. What did you invent and what kind of prize did you get for what you invented?
So, the most recently, I invented a biodegradable fishing lure and bobber to help with the problem of plastic pollution from fishing lures. And
That's
this
a great thing.
year, I won 3rd place at the National Invention Convention.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so the problem that you wanted to solve, the thing you were solving for was?
I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't be helping the problem of plastic pollution by fishing.
Right, because you wanted to fish and enjoy fishing,
Yes.
but you didn't want to leave dirt behind, so to speak.
Exactly.
Especially when you're taking a fish out,
Yes.
right? By the way, do you like to fish?
I really like fishing, yeah.
Yeah? Where did you learn how to fish?
The internet.
Not with your
mostly.
dad or anything?
Not really.
No? Just
Yeah.
on the internet?
I sort of learned alongside my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you would just like go on YouTube videos and,
Yes.
and learn how to do it. And where do you go fishing?
Really, any lake that there is.
No, I mean like in Richfield. Are there places to go fishing?
I really like Lake Windwing. It's up by the elementary school. You can catch a lot of fish there, as well as Pier Pond. That's over by like Barlow Mountain.
Cool. Where's Barlow Mountain? Sounds like Reading area.
It's
Where's it?
another elementary school
Yeah.
just near us. Yeah.
Oh, so there are a couple of lakes right in Richfield. And what kind of fish do you catch?
Mostly sunfish and largemouth bass.
And do you eat them or do you throw them back?
I throw them back.
You throw them back. But it's the thrill of the catching them.
Yes.
So what is a lure to those of us who don't fish?
It is it's trying to impersonate something that a fish would naturally eat, so that to trick the fish into biting it, and then you can reel it in.
So not like breaded with peanut butter?
That's more of a bait.
Oh, okay. So the bait is something a fish knows it might eat. A lure is something
that tries to trick the fish into eating.
I see. Do
Yes.
you need both on a line? Do you need both bait and a lure? Do you use one or the other?
You could use one or the other usually.
Okay, so now that was a very good problem because think about the millions of lures in fishing, right, around
Yes.
the world. And are they all currently made of plastic generally if you buy them in a store?
Generally, yeah.
Okay, so what did you invent?
So I made a gelatin-based bioplastic, and I used silicone molds to make it into a lure out of one of the plastic lures that I have. I made a mold using silicone, and basically what that does is it's a cavity in the silicone. It's like a plasticky substance.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could put the gelatin bioplastic in there, and then
You bake it?
You just sort of let it out to set and dry.
Okay. All right.
And then that's the lure, basically.
And so will that lure melt in the water? Like what happens to it?
I did some testing, and after about 30 days, it would fully biodegrade. I put it in like a little jar, but based on like water currents and all the other elements, if it was like in an actual lake, I think it would biodegrade more quickly.
Okay. So, and is a lure typically left behind?
The lures are reused. So like you could use it for one fishing trip, and then like 3 days later also use it for a different fishing trip.
But if a fish happens to bite at it and it gets disconnected, then it won't pollute the bottom of the floor.
Exactly.
Got it. I got it. Well, that's really exciting. You won 3rd place?
Yes.
And, well, that's a thrill. And how many people were at the Invention Convention?
I'm not actually sure.
What was it, over 100?
Over 100.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And where was it?
Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh, wow. Very cool. All right, so let's turn to you. We're chatting with Ian Klimowitz and Evelyn Klimowitz, brother and sister, from a very innovative family, a very inventing family. So, Evelyn, you're a rising 8th grader, same school district in Ridgefield.
Yep.
And what did you invent?
So I invented a device that can detect different strains and species of bacteria in your wound to tell you what it would be infected with and allow you to get effective and efficient treatment.
You have to go back. That's a very generalized statement. Okay.
Yes.
So what problem were you trying to solve for?
So I was trying to allow, people in their homes to detect what their wound could possibly be infected with to save them money and also fight antibiotic resistance, which is a growing problem. So antibiotic resistance is where the antibiotic doesn't fully decimate the bacteria that is infecting your wound, and that bacteria goes back and they make a different strain that can resist the antibiotic, so it becomes
Very
even
clever.
harder to treat. Yeah,
Bacteria is very clever.
they are. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you are able to detect exactly what type of strain or species of bacteria is infecting, you are able to efficiently treat the wound and kind of thwart antibiotic resistance.
But doesn't everybody use Neosporin anyway for everything?
They do often, but if that doesn't work, sometimes it can become even worse once the bacteria has been established for a long time.
So you're talking about surface wounds. I scraped my knee. I hurt my elbow.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me what you invented.
So it's a two-part invention. It is a bandage that allows you to irrigate your wound with a saline solution, and that helps collect a sample of any bacteria that might be in your wound.
Mm.
And so then
it absorbs it up. It
Yes.
sponges it.
So no, the bandage is just like a normal bandage, and then you take a little syringe full of saline,
Okay.
and you would irrigate the wound, and that would just be basically running the saline over the wound and then sucking it back up into the syringe.
Okay.
And then, so once you have that saline solution that has the possible bacteria in it, you add a little bit of a
So are you
detergent.
puncturing the wound or are you getting it from the bandage?
Just from the top of the wound.
I don't know what you mean.
So you'd have.
If I have a wound, if I have an
Yes.
open wound, is by the way, is it scabbed over or is it still bleeding, this
It
wound?
could be scabbed over or still.
So let's
open.
assume it's scabbed over.
Yes.
How am I getting anything from underneath it?
You would just be getting the saline from the surface. So if the wound is infected, it's likely to be
Oozing a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would take the saline and you would irrigate the wound with
Uh-huh.
it, and that would collect any sample bacteria that could be in it.
Okay.
And then you'd take that solution that has the bacteria in it,
Yeah.
and you'd add a detergent. And this detergent breaks down those bacteria into their component parts, like antigens. And so then you would take that solution with the broken down bacteria over to a testing area. And for my technology, I have technology similar to COVID strips.
Yeah, that's what I
So-
was thinking of. So I was listening to you because my husband has COVID now and I've been doing all this
Oh, yeah.
testing all week long. It's interesting. But we're used to doing home testing now in a way that we
Yes.
didn't used to be. So this is cool. Yeah, go ahead.
So you take this solution and you would put it over each of the tests. And these tests would be for certain antigens, which is one of the component parts of the bacteria. And it would show either positive or negative for this different component part. And some common things that you would test for are like lipopolysaccharide or peptidoglycan. And those
Well,
are
these are they roll off the tongue. I know exactly what she's talking about, don't you? Doesn't everybody here know what you're talking about? Okay. These are common bacteria
they're
found in the dirt and
common,
stuff?
Yeah, things found on a lot of bacteria. So you test for that kind of to see like, okay, my wound is infected. Is it infected with this type of bacteria or this
Okay.
type? And then you can kind of narrow the tests down, and the system works. You can take the used tests out and replace them with new tests. So you can narrow it down to see kind of what your wound is infected with.
So this is more of, it's sort of in keeping with home testing,
Yes.
which is what a lot of people are doing to help treat themselves for a
Yeah.
lot of different things. And let's say, let me cut to the chase. Let's say I did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Do you also tell me, will Neosporin work for this or not?
So that's not something that's included with the device as it is now, but I think that could be something that
I think
we
you
would,
need to do that.
yeah, add in the future.
Because
And
that's what people want to know.
Yeah.
Can I treat this with the thing I normally treat my wound with, or do I have to go to the doctor?
Yeah,
And get
and then-
something prescription?
I think I would want to kind of integrate it with like the healthcare system so that you could say, okay, I did this test and I'm going to bring it to urgent care and say, I did this, it's infected with this,
Right.
I need this treatment.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. So homemade doctors. We're our own doctors.
Yes.
We have to be anyway. That's Evelyn Klimowitz you're listening to. She and her brother Ian are in studio, and they're two brilliant kids from clearly a brilliant family. Mommy is here. She should be quelling big time. And they both did. Now, did you also win an award at the Invention Convention?
So I went to the state invention convention in Connecticut, and I am proceeding to nationals next year, and I got an award from NASA, from UConn, and from the Boehringer Ingelheim Pharmaceutical Company.
That's very exciting. That's wonderful. Are you somebody who wants to pursue science as a career?
I think so, yeah. Definitely in school, I love math and science, so that would be something that I'd look forward to in my future, yeah.
It's very exciting for us that you're so interested in this. Who led you down this path? How did you first have this interest in science? Who were some of your influences?
Well, I think both of my parents are in science. So
Are they? What do they do? What do they do?
My dad works in research and development, and my mom used to work at labs.
Okay. So you have a little head start genetically and environmentally.
Yes.
You have parents who help you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know I asked you this already. My short-term memory is going. Is it just the two of you?
Yes.
It's just the two of you. So you've got a boy and a girl, both budding scientists. You must be so proud of them. So, and what was the state convention like, Evelyn?
I think it's a great experience. They take the Yukon basketball court and they set it up, and it's just like around 100 inventors are there. And after you're judging, you can go around and talk to them all and see them all. And I think it's just a really great experience.
All right, kids. Ian and Evelyn, stay with us. I have more questions for you. I understand one of you invented something having to do with dogs and a leash, right?
Yes.
I got to hear about that. 203-333-9422. If you've got a question for our up-and-coming innovators, you can call me at 203-333-9422. We'll be right back.
The Lisa Wexler Show on WICC 600 AM and 107.3 FM. And wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, you'll find the best of Lisa, too.
How much do you really know about designing a bathroom? At WinBath, we know and are here to help with top brands like Toto, Groa, and Moen. Our WinBath design consultants guide you through every step, whether you're remodeling or refreshing. We make it stress-free. WinBath Kitchen and Bath Showroom in Shelton is ready to help you design your perfect bathroom. Visit our showroom at 14 Forest Parkway or call 203-925-7603 today. Winning bathrooms with WinBath.
Ready for a confident new smile? At Downtown Dental, get Invisalign or veneers with the best quality at the lowest price. Missing teeth from decay or an injury? Fix your smile fast with dental implants for just $999 with crowns and dental implants in a day.
I'm so glad I went to Downtown Dental for my implants. My teeth look amazing, and it was painless and affordable.
I smile with confidence because of Downtown Dental.
Offices in Bridgeport, Norwalk, and West Haven. Call Downtown Dental. DowntownDentalCT.com.
Stream WICC anywhere, wherever you go, we go. Go to voiceofct.com and click on Listen Live. Brought to you by the Connecticut Lottery. Visit ctlottery.org.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's the Lisa Wexler Show.
It's such a pleasure for me to have people like the Klimowitz family on the air with you at 203-333-9422. We have their mom, Elizabeth Long, who has got to be so proud of her kids. Ian Klimowitz is a rising 7th grader at Scotts Ridge Middle School in Ridgefield. Evelyn, his sister, a rising 8th grader at Scotts Ridge Middle School in Ridgefield as well. And they're both from the next generation of inventors. Ian took 3rd place at the National Convention for his fishing lure that's biodegradable. And Evelyn is on her way to the Nationals for an at-home test to discern the bacteria that you may be picking up when you scrape your knee. So I'm very happy to have all of you back here. Elizabeth Long, you're the mom. Evelyn just said that you're a scientist yourself. Tell us about that. Wait. Hold on 1 second. Try. That was my fault. Try again. Here
Yeah,
we
no
go.
problem. Yes, before I had my children, I was a medical researcher and I worked on immunology and inflammation, sort of why do we get too inflamed in certain situations and how is that bad for us and, how is that happening?
And where are you originally from?
I'm from Canada, so our whole family moved down here.
When?
When Ian was 2 weeks old.
Oh, so a while ago. So they were
Yes.
educated here, the kids.
Yes, absolutely. They, for all intents and purposes, they are American and they have lived here their whole lives and they know nothing but Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Are you happy with the Ridgefield schools?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm, in terms of the Invention Convention, it's accessible to, Connecticut does such a good job having that accessible to sort of all the schools. You can run it in your schools. Parents can run it. Teachers can run it. Sort of they accommodate any kind of situation that the school district might have. Homeschoolers can do it. And then if you go to a school that doesn't do it and they don't have parent involvement, you can sign up as an independent inventor, which is what Evelyn did this year. She
yes?
previously done it through the school systems.
Why were you independent this time versus through the schools?
So the middle school doesn't run it, so I just registered as an independent inventor, but in the elementary school, it was run there. So
you have to bring the group to the middle school now that you're going to be there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have to make it a club or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Which means mom will have to get more involved, probably.
Well, so that's actually how it happened. In Ridgefield, it's not run through the schools. It's PTAs organize it. So when I first moved there was a family and the mom was running it and her child made the snow straw. And I don't know if that made
I
the
don't know what
rounds a
that
few
is.
years ago.
No.
So she invented something. It was, when people were talking about plastic straws
Right.
and all the waste there, she made an ice straw. So you would put it into your drink, and then it would keep your drink
melt?
cool, and then you would be able to use it as a straw. And then when you're done, you're done.
That's cool.
Right. It was quite cool. So
Depends
then
how fast it melts.
True. She had all kinds of troubleshooting to take care of.
I
Her
bet.
Lips sticking to the straw. Things
love
like
it.
This. But yeah, so when I saw that was possible, I thought, actually, the reason I volunteered to start it at the Ridgebury Elementary School prior to my kids being involved. And actually, the reason I started it is because, you hear a lot of things about girls in STEM and this, and it is, of course, it's very important. But I think our girls are doing a great job, and they are getting involved in STEM, at great rates, and we see that in college enrollment, et cetera, et cetera. But I really feel, having had my own career in science, that it was important that little boys see the teacher being a woman.
Oh, interesting.
So I volunteered so that, I would go there and say, I'm Dr. Long and this is my this is my background, so that they would sort of say it's completely normal that a colleague be a woman, that your boss be a woman, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, we actually have the inverse problem now. We have too few boys enrolled in college.
Exactly. So, so it's this balance that's really hard to strike. But
yep.
So we've had both boys and girls involved, and it's been a wonderful experience over the years. Like, I've loved all the little inventions that everyone makes, and my kids then started doing it, and it's great.
It's fantastic. And your husband is also in science?
Yeah.
What does he do?
So he basically, over the last sort of 10 years, the technology to do research has really sort of exploded. I think, as we can see with, many, many professions,
AI.
right? Yes. So used to be that, you take a sample of tissue and someone would take a biopsy and look at it. And it, in the early days, it would be just a medical doctor, a pathologist looking at that and saying, I think this, based on what I see, I think this. And then we have various stains and things that we can put onto that tissue to, make it more obvious. And then, over the years, they developed antibodies so that you could put an antibody to a specific thing. So if you're looking for, say, an antigen in a breast cancer tissue, like, is it HER2 positive or whatever? So, right. So when I left labs, which is about a dozen years ago, we could look at, a few antigens at a time. And now they can look at 30, 40, 100, and they can, sequence things that are coming from those tissues. Like, the amount of data that's just coming is outrageous. So there's a whole job then managing that data and trying to figure out
and
how
that's
do
what
we.
your husband is
and
trying
that's
to
what
get
he
involved
does.
in?
So that's so
Wow.
that's what he's active in, and he really loves it. He loved computers growing up, and then he did biology, so it was kind of a nice marriage there.
How beautiful. We're chatting with, this is Elizabeth Long, the mom of Ian and Evelyn Klimowitz, a brother-sister, each of whom have invented their own inventions. I was reading, Evelyn, tell me about this. I was reading about some kind of a new dog leash, and I don't know, Ian, if this was your invention or yours, Evelyn's. Whose was it?
It was mine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me about it.
Yeah. So when I was in 4th grade, I invented a device to help train your dog. So we would take our dog to training courses, and the type of training we were doing was clicker training.
Yes, that's what they taught us.
Yeah. So my device was to help manage all the things you'd have to have in your hands at once, like the treats, the leash, the clicker, so that the treat delivery and the clicker would be simultaneous, because if it wasn't, that could backfire when you were training the dog.
Mhm.
So it was a handle that had a clicker on top, so you could put your thumb right on it and click. It had an attachment for the leash so that you'd be in control of the dog. And then I invented a food leather, kind of like fruit bars that you would get at the store, to be dispensed so that you could easily rip it off and give it to your dog as a reward.
So like a 3-in-1 kind of a thing.
Yes.
And this is the thing for me, like I have a brain that conceptualizes inventions now and then, but I don't know how to translate it logistically into a thing. How do you do that?
I think when you first start and you're brainstorming problems, it can be a little bit overwhelming, because you think, oh, wow, I have to turn this into like a finished product.
Yeah.
But I think the Invention Convention does a great job of walking you through it, and you get a logbook so you can write down all your thoughts, and that also takes you through it. You say, okay, this is my problem, and then these are the ways that I might solve it, and then what are the problems with some of these ways, and how won't that work? And then you find a way that will work, and you start building it, and you realize, oh no, that won't work either. So it's a lot of trial and error, but I think once you get to the end, it's very rewarding to see, oh wow, I found a problem
this.
and I built something.
It's incredible. Ian Klimowitz, we're chatting with Ian and Evelyn Klimowitz and their mom, Elizabeth Long from Richfield. So Ian, when you knew that you wanted to invent this lure and you wanted to have this silicone and this case and everything, was it hard or easy to get the materials that you needed?
Well, I think the bioplastic has pretty easy materials to acquire.
Can you buy them in a store like Michael's or something?
Yes. So
Okay.
it's just made of gelatin powder, glycerol, and water. So you just have to sort of dissolve both of the materials, the glycerol and the water, glycerol and the gelatin into the water, and then heat it over a stovetop, and it becomes like this sort of, it looks like it's melted plastic.
Mhm.
So that's sort of what it is.
Right.
And then you put it into the mold, and when it's still a liquid, and you have to let it dry.
Then you pop it out?
Then you just pop it out once it's sort of semi-cured, but then after a few days of just being left out, it becomes like a hard plastic.
Ian, do you have any other ideas right now that you want to turn into inventions?
Not currently, but I definitely want to continue with invention throughout middle school and high school.
Do you have an interest in science as well?
Yes.
And math too?
Science and math.
Yeah, you can't do science without math. You know, people who think you can, they just seem to be wrong. All the people I know in science say you have to have a good foundation of mathematics. They really go hand in hand. So what about you? Do you, Evelyn, have any other ideas that you want to translate right now? Are you burning to do something else?
I don't think I have any current invention ideas, but I mean, I definitely want to continue with the Invention Convention and
keep competing?
Yes. And also I help run it at the elementary school, and it's really fun and nice to see all the younger kids who are just getting into inventing and seeing all their ideas and their inventions.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. You kids are really, really cool. Elizabeth, what would you say is the secret to being a parent of two such bright and interested kids?
I think just saying yes. really. Just when they're really little, just saying yes to the things that they want to do. And when they have an idea, just say, yes, we can try that. Let's give it a go. And also do things
Very
yourself.
Nike.
Yeah.
Very Nike. Just say yes, let's do it, just do it.
But
right?
also follow what you do, right? So, I mean, I hesitate to say this here because I've been bragging to everyone, and now they're going to make fun of me because I'm bragging here. But I fixed our fridge the other day.
Did you?
Yes.
Good for you. That is a braggy
Right?
thing.
I called everyone. They said it wasn't worth fixing. I went on YouTube. I found a
The
person.
The YouTube
And I
things
thought,
are phenomenal.
I can
That's
do
what Ian
this.
was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So I gave it a try, and it worked. That was my only option was going to.
And you didn't have to get Freon from someplace or anything like that?
It was a really simple fix, right?
It was a simple fix that nobody else could do,
Yeah.
huh?
Well, you know what my dad always said? He says, everything is easy when you know how.
That's my thing. How often do I say that, Melissa? I say that all day long.
Yeah. My dad used to always say that.
Everything is easy when you know how.
Yeah. Just try it. Say
It's
yes.
one of my
and everything's
sayings.
easy when
That
you know
is
how.
literally a Lisa cliche.
Yeah.
I should meet your father.
There you go. He says the same thing, and it really is true.
It
and
is
I think
true.
They learn that, right?
Yep.
Every time we do something, I think, you know you can do this now. The next time, you're good to go.
We're going to be back with the next hour. Stay tuned for more of the Lisa Wexler Show.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. European leaders say Ukraine's president had a constructive call today with President Trump. Volodymyr Zelensky heard here through an interpreter.
Everything regarding Ukraine needs to be discussed with Ukraine. We have to be part of this conversation.
CBS's Torian Small.
This came at the request of Germany's chancellor, a conversation to put Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky in the ear of the president ahead of his sit-down first face-to-face meeting with Putin since he retook office.
That meeting with the Russian president is set for Friday. Reports say Russia today imposed restrictions on WhatsApp and Telegram messenger apps, saying it was necessary to fight criminality. At least 3 deaths blamed on flooding in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. More than 6 inches of rain overwhelmed some places, prompting high water rescues. There's also concern about possible flooding in Juneau, Alaska.
Rainwater and snowmelt from a huge basin dam by the Mendenhall Glacier have started flowing downstream toward the capital city. Nicole Farron is with the National Weather Service.
This will be a new record based on all of the information that we have.
Juneau Deputy City Manager Robert Barr says state and federal agencies installed a 2.5-mile-long temporary levee after last year's flooding, which damaged 300 homes.
This year, I would hope to see that number in the double digits instead of the triple digits.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Well, CBS's Stacey Lynn tells us a Louisiana woman is searching for a stranger who she says helped her escape a human trafficker nearly 14 years ago.
Maisha Grove's story has gone viral on TikTok.
I was in Washington, D.C. I was walking down the street, and this man asked me if I was okay.
She wasn't okay. She told him she was being held against her will by a trafficker, and the stranger promised to help.
This man brought me a plane ticket.
She got out the next day fast, but she never got the stranger's name and wants to thank him.
I changed everything around. You know, I've gotten my bachelor's, my master's, and I went on just to make a difference.
She now supports other crime survivors and their families in New Orleans.
Well, CBS's Ed O'Keefe is covering as the Kennedy Center honorees are about to be announced, teased on social media.
They said a country music icon, an Englishman, a New York City rock band, a dance queen, a multi-billion-dollar actor.
Attention shoppers, Amazon said today it's going to more than double its grocery footprint in the U.S. by year's end. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 300 points. The S&P is up 11. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WICC 695.9. Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
This update is brought to you by Optimum Business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with fast and secure fiber internet starting at $65 a month with 99.9% network reliability. Visit Optimum.com/business today. An arrest has been made in connection with an incident outside of a Stanford mosque. Police say 36-year-old Michael Slocum voluntarily surrendered yesterday and was charged with second-degree breach of peace. Slocum stopped a vehicle in front of the Islamic Center on Washington Boulevard and made derogatory statements to families who were outside. The state's attorney's office reviewed the case and decided not to charge Slocum with violating state hate crime laws. And the Fairfield national team plays their first game in the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. 10 teams from around the United States and 10 more from across the globe will compete in the double elimination tournament. Tonight, the team plays against the Southwest Region champion Lamar Littler League of Richmond, Texas. The game is at 7 p.m. and will be televised on ESPN. For the Voice of Connecticut WICC, I'm John Kamal.
Ready for a confident new smile? At Downtown Dental, get Invisalign or veneers with the best quality at the lowest price. Missing teeth from decay or an injury? Fix your smile fast with dental implants for just $999 with crowns and dental implants in a day.
I'm so glad I went to Downtown Dental for my implants. My teeth look amazing, and it was painless and affordable.
I smile with confidence because of Downtown Dental.
Offices in Bridgeport, Norwalk, and West Haven. Call Downtown Dental. DowntownDentalCT.com.
WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut. Weather update.
Sunny and hot this afternoon. There may be an isolated shower or a thunderstorm late with a high near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. Overnight fog rolling in after midnight. It will be a mild and muggy night with a low in the low 70s. A better risk of afternoon showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A hot and humid day, partly sunny, upper 80s to near 90. Heat indices in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Attorney, advocate, author, public speaker. The Lisa Wexler Show. Flip that switch and turn on your brain. Here is Lisa Wexler.
And welcome to the show. We expect to be chatting with Dr. Allison Ostroff momentarily. You can get your questions ready as part of our Aging Gracefully series brought to you by Mosaic Senior Life. 203-333-9422. Speaking of health, prominent MAGA leaders are urging President Trump to back off his plans to review federal restrictions on marijuana. The impetus has been towards reclassifying marijuana as a Schedule III drug. And that's because as a Schedule I drug, likening it to opium, etc., many people felt that that put a lot of hamstrings on the right kind of research so that we could understand cannabis, what it's good for and what it's not good for. But because we made it in the same classification as our heaviest narcotics, in a lot of ways, we discouraged and prevented research on marijuana. And what has happened alongside that has been this huge movement from states below to legalize marijuana for not just medicinal purposes, but also recreational purposes. And I urge you to listen to my conversation as a podcast, which is now up with Dr. Christine Schapter yesterday, where we got into this a little bit as part of our mental health crisis. But the cannabis industry has long wanted marijuana to be reclassified so that they could open up the floodgates towards research theoretically, but also, frankly, more normalize it and condone the usage of it nationwide, where currently we have a patchwork of laws. For example, in Florida, you can't smoke pot recreationally, so you don't smell it in every park, in every highway. You smell it sometimes here and there, but not the way it is overwhelmingly polluting the air of New York City and parts of Connecticut and a lot of our streetscapes and beaches and parks, where even if it isn't technically legal, it is so condoned that police don't even bother, and if they're not even there, people don't bother telling anybody not to do it. And you know what's interesting about this? What's interesting is people are emboldened to tell other people not to smoke a cigarette. I've seen other people say, don't smoke here. It's my beach and I don't want to smell it. And they frown upon it societally. But right now we're in this limbo gray area where people are afraid to tell people don't smoke pot, even though I know you're not allowed to smoke it here. And sometimes the person smoking pot seems like somebody who might be psychotic. So, for example, the other day I was in a playground with Abby on 68th Street and 2nd Avenue. And there was a woman openly smoking pot, just like openly, like, dare me to not do it. She's not supposed to be smoking pot in a kid's playground. She's just not. It's not the law in New York City, not supposed to be doing it. There weren't any police there, but she wasn't supposed to be doing it. I did not go up to her to say anything. I did not. You know me with my big mouth. I sort of cursed under my breath. I tried to hope that she heard me. But the truth is, I didn't want to engage with this woman eye to eye because unlike tobacco, marijuana can induce psychosis. And I don't want somebody attacking me. It's as simple as that. So I've got to suck it up and allow her to smoke pot when I know that she shouldn't be. Many of Trump's allies are vehemently opposed to easing federal restrictions. They are afraid that if these restrictions are eased and the national reclassification goes forward, that will allow a lot more states to legalize marijuana, which has a huge potential for abuse. And Trump confirmed reports that he was considering reclassifying marijuana. He's torn between the medical benefits and other side effects, telling reporters yesterday that for pain and various things medically, I've heard some pretty good things, but for other things, I've heard some pretty bad things. And, you know, Trump himself is a teetotaler, and he's a non-druggie. He's made it very clear to all of his children, all 5 of them, that they are not to do alcohol and they are not to do drugs. And I know this personally from before he was president. He really walks that walk. The premature death of his elder brother, Fred, from alcoholism had a profound impact on him. He doesn't drink and he doesn't do drugs. And he said in 2024 that he would have voted for a Florida amendment that would legalize marijuana throughout the state. That amendment ultimately failed because it had to be passed by 60%. It was passed by, I believe, 57%. But MAGA luminaries are now sounding the alarm after a Wall Street Journal recent article reported on Trump's discussions with the cannabis industry, which has donated millions to his political groups. And the Daily Wire's Matt Walsh posted, no country of potheads has ever thrived or achieved anything at all. Every city that legalized it became an even bigger blank hole, basically overnight. America deserves better. Our kids deserve better, said MAGA podcaster Jack Posobiec. And between the lines, we'll have to see what happens. A lot of MAGA is fixated on Western civilization, and they're not happy about the legalization of pot. I have to tell you personally that it's a slippery slope. I don't think that marijuana belongs classified in the same classification as opioids. It's not the same kind of drug. I think it's a good thing that we should have more research on it. But I do see, personally, societally, that it's been a public health disaster to have legalized marijuana recreationally with a no-holds-barred approach. And I think that we have given the absolutely wrong message to our young people, and it's been a big mistake because when polled, our young people believe that tobacco is more dangerous for them than pot, or and that pot is and that alcohol. And so the answer is pot is a psychoactive drug. You have to be careful with it. We've had 22,000 ER visits of children for poison for gummy bears alone in the last year, which is exponentially higher than we've ever had. And that's just the tip of the iceberg because those reports don't have to be reported by hospitals. So I think we're in the middle of a public health problem that only a few of us are sounding alarm bells on. And I think we're going to end up taking the pendulum backwards. But I just wanted to let you know that President Trump has said that he is close to reclassifying this. And a lot of his allies are not happy because they see this as fueled by donations from the cannabis industry to his campaign, which stands to benefit tremendously if it is reclassified. 203-333-9422. We're going to be right back with Dr. Allison Ostroff, Curtison of Mosaic, our Aging Gracefully series. She's a geriatrician who can answer many of your questions about getting older and health problems that are specific to older people. At 203-333-9422. We'll be right back.
For the latest news in Southern Connecticut, WICC is where you turn first on 600 AM and now 95.9 on FM. Hear your favorite live and local shows during the week. Melissa in the Morning, The Lisa Wexler Show, Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on both 600 and 95.9. Plus more live and local news updates on weekends to keep you informed. You found the voice of Connecticut. WICC 600 and 95.9.
I don't mean to scare you, but a tree could be hiding damage that you simply can't see. Hey, Melissa Sheketoff here, and we had one tree in particular that was directly in front of my son's bedroom. At K&J, they have licensed arborists on staff who will do everything they can to save a tree. Like that tree I just mentioned in front of Chase's bedroom. It didn't need to come down entirely, but the parts that were problematic, those were removed immediately. Book online at kjtreeservice.com or text 203-248-TREE.
Your business or service can reach thousands of listeners with The Lisa Wexler Show. The award-winning show is consistently ranked in the top 5 talk radio shows in Connecticut. Lisa's listeners are devoted and loyal. They should know how great your business is. Advertise on The Lisa Wexler Show. Just email Lisa at voiceofct.com. That's Lisa at voiceofct.com. The Lisa Wexler Show. If you're thinking about it, Lisa's talking about it. And that includes you.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it. And so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing. More people seeing your home. More offers coming in. And maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Metal Supermarket's not where you buy your eggs, but where you buy all the metal you need. The world's largest small quantity metal supplier with over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades is now in Danbury and Bridgeport. Fabricators, construction crews, manufacturers, auto shops, and hobbyists find the metal you need cut to size and ready fast with no minimum order. Or browse our drops and remnants. Fill your cart at Metal Supermarkets in Bridgeport at 1085 Connecticut Avenue or Danbury at 4 Lee Mack Avenue.
You can't see it, you can't smell it, but radon gas could be putting your family at risk. Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that could be lurking in your home and cause serious risk to your family's health. Protect your family with a free on-site radon test from Apex Radon Solutions, your local Connecticut certified radon specialist. Apex Radon Solutions is offering free in-home radon test kits to help you detect and protect. Go to ApexRadonSolutions.com today to get your kit. Healthy air, healthy home with Apex Radon Solutions.
Evolve your vehicle ownership experience with Cadillac of Greenwich. Take the hassle out of vehicle maintenance and choose mobile service, where our technicians come to you. We can replace your brakes, change your oil, and update all your maintenance at your home or office. No lines, no traffic, and no inconvenience. We meet you on your terms at CadillacofGreenwich.com. Where world-class technicians and superior hospitality come standard. That's CadillacofGreenwich.com.
The Lisa Wexler Show is back, and only on the voice of Connecticut. WICC 600 and 95.9.
Aging Gracefully. Brought to you by Mosaic Senior Life.
And welcome back to the show. We're so pleased to bring you this segment about getting older with some grace and some fun and some understanding and information. Dr. Allison Ostroff is a geriatrician. She actually is a geriatrician for Mosaic Senior Life, which used to be known as the Jewish Home, which is on Park Avenue in Bridgeport. She has been before that in a private practice with a wide-ranging group of clientele, and she specializes in helping older people. She's been a fellow. She has a tremendous amount of reservoir of knowledge. Dr. Ostroff, welcome to the show today. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. 203-333-9422 is our number. You can call me at 203-333-9422 to ask a question. Dr. Ostroff, I love what you do. I find it so deep and wide and fascinating. But tell me approximately what age a geriatrician would be needed for a person. What age are we talking about? Yeah.
Sure. So a lot of people don't like this answer, right? Because we're all aging gracefully, hopefully. And, you know, they say 70 is the new 50 and all those sorts of expressions. But by definition, geriatrics starts at age 65. It certainly varies. I have had patients unfortunately, with like sort of early onset Alzheimer's who may be 55, maybe 50 when they want to come and see a geriatrician. I have had people who are 80 years old who don't really have any of the particular what we call geriatric syndromes and are doing just fine with their PCP. I think it's a good idea when you enter your mid-70s, or if something were to happen before then, a fall, memory loss, anything else, and we can talk about geriatric syndromes. I think it's always a good idea to check in with a geriatrician. There aren't a lot of us in primary care, unfortunately. So one of the greatest places is there's geriatric consults.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I set up when I was director at Stanford Hospital. We, at some point, did geriatric consults here at Mosaic. We may be doing them again. This is where, you meet with a geriatrician, someone like myself, for 90 minutes, go through a whole physical and mental workup, see if you're depressed, how your memory is, your balance, your walking or your gait, nutrition, what kind of socialization do you have, what support systems do you have, and really get a tailored view of what your needs may be in the future. And we, of course, communicate that with your primary care physician.
That's a fantastic thing, sort of like a screening, if you will.
Exactly.
Wow. I wanted to ask you about something because I always see online there's a difference between biological age, chronological age. Is that a little bit what you're getting at, that old in terms of numbers is not the same for everybody?
Absolutely. So, for example, and I hate to bring it personal, but sometimes that does help people. My own mother was 58 when she was diagnosed with early onset dementia.
Oh, no.
That's okay. She was, if you looked at her at that point in time, she was healthy, vibrant, walking, talking. Nobody would necessarily know. And as she progressed in time, by the time she was 65 or 68, she was, 68, she was in a nursing home. She was no longer walking, no longer talking. That is not your typical 68-year-old. A typical 68-year-old, God willing, is doing everything. 70s, 80s. I know people in their 80s running marathons.
Yep.
My step-grandmother, for example, used to walk faster than me when she was in her mid-80s, and I was maybe 15 years old. So it really all varies, and some of that could be how you take care of your body throughout your life. For example, exercise. Exercise has been proven to help with memory. Of course, we know exercise is good for cardiovascular health. It's good for your weight. It's good for your mind, for depression, to combat depression. Certain things like that. Not smoking, right? Somebody can be very frail from having a lung disease at a younger age as well, or more prone to developing pneumonia versus someone who doesn't smoke or never smoked and has nice, robust lungs.
Yeah. We're chatting with Dr. Allison Ostroff, 203-333-9422. She's a geriatrician. And so we invite your questions. What is this geriatric syndrome that you refer to? What is that?
So there are numerous geriatric syndromes. So one, of course, the big one on everyone's mind is dementia, and there are numerous types of dementia. This isn't a long dementia talk. I could talk for hours and hours and have on dementia. The main one we think of is Alzheimer's disease. So memory loss in general. Depression is very, very rampant in older adults. Some of that is social isolation. COVID certainly didn't help that situation. But as families grow, and if you are lucky enough to have children and grandchildren, they're further away.
That's what
they
it
grow
is.
Up, they don't.
And you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mother's depressed, and I will tell you, and she's being treated with a cocktail of 3 different meds, and I think she's on a little bit of Lexapro, a little bit of Abilify, and a little bit of bupropion. And so, and we've been trying to manage it. But, I think depression can be very rational for people as they get older. In other words, I know it's a state of mind, but it's also a rational way of thinking about the world.
Response.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the other things that's actually a geriatric syndrome or something that we manage is medications. Looking at all of the different medications, not just antidepressants, but things for cholesterol, heart. There are different effects of medications as you get older. Your body doesn't process the medications the way a younger person's body processes them. So you may need a lower dose. You may need a completely different type of medication for the same issue because it will have fewer side effects. So we really try, and we actually try to do something called de-prescribing, taking away medications if possible.
Yeah.
Because we end up taking a lot of things. I'll give cholesterol, for example. Certainly someone who's had a stroke, someone who's diabetic, someone who's had a heart attack, they need to be on a cholesterol medicine for the rest of their life. But someone who simply has high cholesterol.
Hold on, why? Because we're having this fight about my mother right now. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. She had a stroke in 2021, and then she had the vacuum of the carotid artery. Right?
Oh,
because
okay.
right, like 3 days later, and she survived. She came out like a champ. And the other one they said wasn't even occluded, and one was 70%, so they vacuumed it out, and she was great.
Good.
Now she had that stroke at 87. What are the chances that she's really going to have enough hardening of the arteries?
That's a great question. So she's what, 90 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in someone like your mom, knowing that you're now the daughter, and I've only pretend you're my patient. I've only spoken with you for a very brief period of time, but I know you're on the side of less is more. We want her quality of life to be good. We want her to enjoy her life. She doesn't want to swallow this big handful of pills. I'd be fine with stopping the statin. Okay, it really depends on what people's preferences are. A lot of times with diabetes, and I'm going to jump off statins but come right back to them.
Yep.
We push so much, not when someone's insulin dependent, but the pills. So many pills to bring down what we call, your sugars, but the main number is called the A1C.
Okay. Oh yes, we've all seen the ads, Dr. Ostroff.
Of course.
Right? They're lowering their A1C with whatever the tune is. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So the A1C in someone, in their 40s, 50s, 30s should be, close to 6 if you have diabetes.
Okay.
That's when you're diagnosed with diabetes. Pre-diabetes is at 5.8. If you were living at 6.5 and you were a younger person with diabetes, that's great. Okay? If you're an older person with diabetes, let's say you still walk, okay? And maybe your mom still ambulates, maybe with a walker, whatever it is. If her A1C is 6.5, I am very scared as a geriatrician. I do not want your mom to fall. I see fall, I see hip fracture, I see bleeding in the brain, I see, God forbid, death. Okay? Fall is much scarier to me than a blood sugar of 250. Quite frankly, I don't care about your blood sugar of 250.
Oh, interesting.
So the number can actually go between 7.5 and 8.5. And then a younger person, you would think, oh, what kind of doctor is managing this? They're terrible. Right? But in an older person, we have training to sort of know, and that's why a geriatrician is important, because we would look at that number and say, well, your doctor might be doing what they think is right because they do that for all of their 50-year-olds.
Hammer a nail. That's all they look like.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not wrong, but it's just that's why the extra 1 to 2 years of training in geriatrics really does make a difference.
Yeah, I bet it does. Well, let's go to the phones. 203-333-9422. You'll have a chance to ask your question for Dr. Allison Ostroff, who is a geriatrician for Mosaic Senior Living and has been the leader of Stanford Hospital. And we don't have too many people that really specialize in this. Let's go to Bill from Norwalk. Hi, Bill. What is your question for the doctor, please?
Good morning. The question I had is, I'm in my mid-60s, and I see these commercials on TV for better memory and all these different things to help the brain nutrients. Mm-hmm. Is there any truth to that? Is there anything to it? Or is there any other supplement that you would recommend that makes more sense than?
That's a great question. And Prevagen. What about Prevagen? Does it really work? That's a great question, Bill. Thank you.
Fantastic question. Thank you, Bill. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. So Prevagen, the way I talk about Prevagen, no, it's not worth it is the easy answer. Oh. I sort of joke with people, jellyfish don't even have brains. So taking a pill that's based on jellyfish is doing absolutely nothing for you. There's no data behind it. I'm a very data-driven doctor, especially when it comes to supplements, because we could take every supplement we see in the world and we don't realize that some of them could actually do harm. Now, I'm not implying Prevagen does harm other than to your wallet, but there are, right. There, at one point there was talk that ginkgo was very good for memory.
Yes.
There are actual studies disproving that.
I see.
So why take ginkgo? Right? Why take it? It's not doing anything for your mind.
Okay.
There are a couple of supplements that can potentially help with brain health. It's not Focus Factor. It's not MindMD. It's not the aisle in CVS that says every single pill that you should take for your memory. The supplements, I don't even necessarily want to promote them and they're not brand names, but the data is so small. Now, someone like me whose mother got Alzheimer's at 58, I'm 46.
You're worried.
Of course, it's on my mind.
Yeah.
I do take those supplements.
You do?
I do.
You do?
I also don't exercise like I should. I will tell you, exercising 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week is better than any potential supplement you could take.
So what supplements do you take, though? But what supplements do you take?
So one is an herbal. It's called Bacopa, Bacopa. I get these all on Amazon, by the way, and I don't have one brand that I think is better than the other. I just buy one and stick with it. This is literally herbal. It doesn't interact with anything else. It's very, very safe. It has a bit of a fragrance when you take it. It's not smells lovely.
But what are the herbs that are attracting you to this supplement? What are the ones you think?
So Bacopa is one. Turmeric, I'm sure we've heard about.
Oh
turmeric.
Yeah, I have that at home.
Anti-inflammatory properties.
Yep.
It's great for arthritis. It's really it's really great for numerous things.
Okay.
It's also there's some thought that there's some inflammation in the brain that's going on when you have dementia.
Okay.
So taking turmeric is a good idea for your
and
brain
using
health.
it as a seasoning, right? Because that's what it is.
Sure. Yeah, you need to have black pepper with it, or your body's not going to absorb it.
Interesting.
So so some people make a turmeric tea or a turmeric milk. You have to have black pepper. And honestly, I don't know how much you're getting when you're using it on your chicken or whatever you're using it. But if you're taking a pill, and again, it's not a particular amount. I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, whatever it is, 500. But you're getting something that's kind of a recommended amount. And whatever you don't need, you're just going out in your urine.
Okay. Wow, turmeric. Okay, that's good to know. And that you would take in a supplement that would already presumably come with the black pepper?
Yes, it comes with the black pepper. Yeah, they almost all do, but you want to make sure that it does.
Okay, fantastic. Turmeric with curcumin. I have that at home. Of course, it sits in a bottle of things that I don't take, but that's good to know.
Yeah, well,
I should
used
take
to
that
take
one.
it, and then I have acid reflux, and it upset it, so I stopped. But one problem leads to another, right?
I know.
But I am gonna try it again, and there's some supplements, turmeric with ginger. Ginger has some potential anti-inflammatory properties. These things haven't actually been proven yet that they help with the brain, but I can tell you that they really don't hurt.
Right. Okay. Got it.
So why not?
All right. We got a bunch more callers here. Paul from Milford, you're on the air with Dr. Allison Ostroff. Go ahead, please. Hi, Paul. What's your question?
Good morning. Question is, what's her opinion on a cardiac calcium score of 400?
Thank you, Paul. Okay.
Well, I'm not a cardiologist, so I'll just start by saying that. The cardiac calcium score, I'm just going to, for people that may not know about it, is a really amazing, fantastic test that is non-invasive. It's not like a catheterization. I believe it's either sort of similar to an MRI or a CAT scan, where they can look at the amount of calcium buildup in the arteries, and then they score it, and that gives you an idea of cardiac risk of heart attacks, things like that. A score of 0 is obviously, or one would presume, is ideal. It means there is not any calcium buildup. Calcium score of 400 would concern me. It would concern me. My own husband, he has high blood pressure. He went for a cardiac calcium score. I was very, as a doctor, as a mother, I have 11-year-old twins. I want him to be around. He went for his cardiac calcium score. It was 0. Very pleased. 400, I'd be telling him to go in and get a cardiac cath, or seeing what his cardiologist had to say, or maybe getting a second opinion if I didn't like what his cardiologist had to say. But, I'm also a doctor wife, so.
Okay. So you're saying that you would definitely encourage follow-up, and that there may have to be some stenting or some kind of cleaning of it.
Should not be ignored.
All right. We're going to have one more caller, Dr. Ostroff, for you, and we really appreciate this. We're chatting with Dr. Allison Ostroff, courtesy of Mosaic, part of our Aging Gracefully series. Dr. Ostroff is a geriatrician. Eileen from Milford, you're going to have the last question today. Hi, Eileen. What's on your mind? Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to mention about the turmeric. I just recently read that there can be a lot of side effects from using turmeric, and it listed a bunch of things in your body it can affect. I believe one might have been your kidneys or your liver, but there was a few things. So I know my sister is very big on turmeric, and she has been for years. So I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Sure. So with anything, with any supplement, just like all of the commercials on TV, you're going to, hear that risk of death, bleeding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Turmeric, if you were to overtake turmeric, and again, I don't like if the recommended on the bottle is 2 pills, and let's say you're taking 20 a day, it probably could affect your liver or your kidneys. I think it's more likely metabolized through your liver than your kidneys. I have never known anyone to have any damage to their liver or kidneys from taking it. The only side effect I know of with turmeric, because it's an anti-inflammatory, that has similar properties to something like an Advil or an Aleve, those medications increase your bleeding risk. So people that are on medications that maybe for an irregular heart rhythm like atrial fibrillation, or after having a stroke, something like Eliquis or Coumadin or Plavix, even someone that takes an aspirin every day, we have to be careful with them taking turmeric because it can increase your bleeding risk. So before surgery, it's a good idea to hold off on the on the turmeric for a couple of days, that sort of thing. If, you get a cut, you may bleed a little bit more robustly if you're on turmeric and you have been on it for a while. Other than that, I'm willing to prescribe it to patients. I'm not concerned about anything else.
Thank you, Eileen. And on that note, Dr. Ostroff, I just want to tell you, my mother is 90. She's having a chordoma, which is a very rare cancer, as you know.
Oh, goodness.
Removed.
Spinal? Is it spinal?
Yeah. Removed on Tuesday with a famous doctor, a Dr. Hornacek down in Miami, who's one of the few surgeons that do this. Great. And it's great because the alternative was radiation, which they were very pessimistic was really going to do anything for the size of this thing. And it's causing some pain. But we just literally yesterday got the go-ahead for next Tuesday. So we are stopping the Eliquis. We're stopping the Eliquis as of Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
And we are also stopping all the vitamins because I know she takes fish oil and that promotes bruising.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
And so I gave the order this morning to the aides, take it out. Take it out.
100%. What are you going to lose by stopping any and all vitamins before a surgery?
Correct.
And that's the thing. You just never know.
Right.
You just never know. Well, I'm glad to hear she's going to have surgery and, God willing, not have pain.
Let's hope
continue
so.
to be able to walk and all of that.
That's the hope. Thank you very much, Dr. Ostroff. What a pleasure. I hope to get to know you in person and have you back on the show. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to be right back. Wayne Winston joins us for Not Just Black and White. Stay tuned.
You're listening to The Lisa Wexler Show on WICC 600 AM and 107.3 FM. Want more from Lisa? Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
How much do you really know about designing a bathroom? At WinBath, we know and are here to help with top brands like Toto, Groa, and Moen. Our WinBath design consultants guide you through every step, whether you're remodeling or refreshing. We make it stress-free. WinBath Kitchen and Bath Showroom in Shelton is ready to help you design your perfect bathroom. Visit our showroom at 14 Forest Parkway or call 203-925-7603 today. Winning bathrooms with WinBath.
If you're a parent looking for an affordable, innovative, and caring private school right here in Fairfield County, look no further. Schoolhouse Academy is here. Located at the Old Lady Fatima property in Wilton, but entirely renovated. Schoolhouse Academy provides a full-service K-8 co-ed project-oriented art, STEM, and character-based education for a tuition of only $20,000. Compare that to any comparable school here in Fairfield County, and you will see the value. As one parent says,
"We are absolutely thrilled with the Schoolhouse Academy. Our son has gone from feeling lost in math to thriving in an advanced class in just 1 quarter. However, what truly sets this school apart is the human quality of the teachers and management. They genuinely care about the children and their unique needs. We couldn't have asked for a better place for our child to grow and succeed."
open houses for fall enrollment are happening right now. Go to schoolhouseacademy.net. That's schoolhouseacademy.net. Teaching children to think by doing. schoolhouseacademy.net.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan. Last year, more consumers switched to Chevrolet than any other automotive brand. Why? With more standard passive and active safety features than any other brand, plus easy-to-use technology like wireless Apple CarPlay, Chevy simply builds in more value. And who doesn't love getting more for their money? With fresh inventory arriving daily, see for yourself at Carl Chevrolet, 261 Elm Street in New Canaan, or online at carlchevy.com.
Columbia Dental in Norwalk is part of a trusted integrated network, offering comprehensive dental services from A to Z, all in one convenient location. From routine cleanings to advanced procedures, their expert team is ready to care for your smile. Call Columbia Dental in Norwalk today at 203-299-0111 or visit columbiadental.com. Complete dental care all under one roof.
Sono Collision, Fairfield County's best for top quality collision repairs. We deliver unmatched precision and care to restore your vehicle. Trust us for excellence. Visit sonocollision.com or call 203-939-9955.
You're listening to The Lisa Wexler Show. Only on WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut. And now, it's not just black and white with Wayne Winston. Now on The Lisa Wexler Show on WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
And welcome back to the show. One of the things Wayne really cares about, we talk about on Wednesdays, are the real-life impacts of some of the Trump administration policies. I saw, Wayne, that on our WICC Facebook page, one of the questions was, what do you think of what's happening in Washington, D.C.? And when I looked yesterday, there were 121 different comments. Many of them, but I mean, there were definitely varying points of view, but many of them felt like it was a good thing to get crime off the streets. Others thought it was excessive use of authority. Muriel Bowser was trying to hold her tongue, I think, for a long time, but by last night, she was very upset with what she considered to be an unnecessary intrusion, sort of a crossing of the lines from what the feds do into policing her city, and she wasn't happy about it. So we can begin with that, Wayne. What do you think about it? If you're asked the question, what do you think about Trump's he's brought in the National Guard today. He's having the FBI do double duty as if they're local policemen. What do you think about this? Your mic 3.
All righty then.
There we go.
Hey, we've got a mic button. All right, fantastic.
There we go, yeah.
Hey, this is best 15 minutes in the new in anywhere right now, okay? That's the big story across America, especially even with Black America. Look, D.C. is famous for being what they used to call Chocolate City back years ago because there were so many African Americans.
I don't think I could say that.
I
don't think I could actually ever say that.
Well, no, Chocolate City's not bad.
Really?
That just reflects upon it was absolutely back then like 55% Black. And when you go back to like the 70s and 80s, that has deteriorated, but it's also
You mean it's not as black as it used to be, DC?
Correct.
Okay.
It's like 40, I want to say it was like 42%. It's like 39% white right now.
Okay.
So still predominantly. And, they have issues because they're not like, quote, a state, et cetera. So,
Right, always did,
so
with
that's
representation, 100%.
When he pulled that, he can only do that there. Now,
you mean because of the quasi-Washington, D.C. district? I got it. District of Columbia.
And what we're looking at is like, what are we really talking about here? Okay, look, crime's everywhere. You're going to have muggings. It doesn't matter where you are. You have people killing each other, chopping up their families in the suburbs. Inner cities are going to have more crime than not.
And you know that what prompted this was this guy from Doge who got mugged in his car pretty badly.
Yes, he did.
And they rocked his car and they beat him up.
Yes, they did.
And I think that this is a reaction to that.
And
Some might think it's an overreaction, but I think it's a reaction to that.
Well, I think there's no question it's an overreaction. Now, that person who did that, clearly.
No, there were 7 of them.
7. They should all be locked up. They should all be in jail. But now to say many things that have been disputed, the crime rates is what he's quoting versus what, verified people have said is different than what he's describing.
The crime rate, in fact, in D.C. and in the United States is at one of its lowest rates in many decades.
But if you want to do something, you have to say something, and it doesn't necessarily have to line up. I mean, he fired a guy who, said, listen, I don't like those unemployment numbers that you put up there. Jobs, you're supposed to have jobs. Come on, get out of here. Killing the messenger. But D.C. is very important because it's a place of a lot of wealth for black people.
And Prince George's County right outside?
Yes.
Number 1, right?
Yes.
Isn't it probably the highest per capita income of black Americans in the country is in Prince George's County?
It may be.
It's got to be one of the highest. It's a very upper middle class area, very expensive area.
I wouldn't doubt it. So when you bring these people in and you tell the people, now he said this, not me, that the police are going to do whatever the hell they want to do. That's not a good thing. I mean, aren't there things that protect people? Aren't there, certain laws? I mean, it's when a president tells you that, and then he brings in the National Guard. The National Guard. And what are they going to do? Okay, they're camped out by, the mall right now. Okay, they're going to stay out there directing tourists, and then the FBI. What are we talking about? The FBI is going to go covert into what? Cities, projects. That's basically what he has outlined coming from the people who live there. Like they're driving through the communities. Some of them have those, the big trucks. It's like, this is looking like an occupied city. It's frightening in many ways.
Is it being exaggerated to us in the news because it's so, newsy? In other words, I wonder what the people on the streets of D.C. are feeling right now. Do they feel like their city has more police, or is it just a lot of headlines?
There's no question. I mean, look, as black people, we know about that power being used against us. I mean, the civil rights movement was real. That was a lot of people died from that. Military, we have flashbacks back to having the National Guard walk our ancestors to school, children to school, because of the crazy people that were there trying to hurt them. And right now, we even have white towns that are turning up, which we can discuss another day, which say it's whites only town. There's about 3 of them right now.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of people are feeling empowered towards that. So
whites only towns?
Yes.
Well, they're not going to get away with that's ridiculous nonsense.
They have, and you can do a whites only town. You come up with 3 of them. These people they bought their own property. Some of them have it they owned already. They expanded it out. And what happens to those people? Because, look, we remember Green Books when you would go down south. There were places you couldn't stay because you weren't safe.
We all saw the movie.
Oh, yes. And if you saw the movie.
Did you know about the Green Books before the movie came out?
I did.
Because I did not.
From my grandparents.
You did know?
Yes, because when you traveled, that was for real. You go into towns, you weren't always coming out. It was that serious. The racism, the level of hate that racism can bring is tragic, but we know it's real and not that far away when you have enough people.
Listen to me. They're called sundown towns, also known as sunset towns. Gray towns or sundowner towns are all white municipalities or neighborhoods in the United States that practice a form of racial segregation by excluding non-whites via some combination of discriminatory local laws, intimidation, or violence. In July 24th, 2025, this is by something called The Independent, a whites-only community in remote Arkansas is welcoming only people with traditional views and European ancestry, reportedly planning another project in Missouri. Yeah, they're in a remote part of the Ozarks in northeastern Arkansas, possibly expanding north into Missouri. They call themselves the Return to the Land, RTTL, and they describe themselves as a private membership association for individuals with traditional views and European ancestry. They first opened in October of 2023. They did. You're right. They opened.
Sounds like the local citizen councils are coming back.
You can't be non-white or non-Christian or, God forbid, LBGT+. They want to separate themselves from a failing modern society, and they have YouTube videos on 150 acres of land. Currently, 40 people live there. Would you want to be a child who had to be, a parent like that? Well, we have cults all over. America has more cults than any other country by far. By far. This is a cult. This is clearly a cult. I mean, what else would it be? It is a cult. It's a racist cult. Yeah. They want to move into the Appalachian Mountains. They call themselves a fortress for the right race. Okay, then. So
we've been in a bit of a... You've had the militias training up in even Michigan militia decades. We're waiting for the race war. And we're going like, black people like, race war? We just want to just go with our families and go to school, don't redline us.
But more and more people are not black or white. Like more and more people in this country truly are multiracial. And anytime you sit down with someone roots from Henry Louis Gates, most of the people will find an ancestor here or there of a different race.
That's right.
I mean, all of us belong to each other, really.
We do. But you have those people that see that as we have to make that pure race. We have to protect that pure race because it is getting too diluted. And this whole convoluted.
I thought we defeated Hitler.
Well, and I'm going to say this, the wrong people in the right places, the damage that they can do in this country is not a joke. And we are aware of that because those people are real. As, they're human beings. They happen to be in Germany. All the people who felt like Dr. King was not bringing something right. Remember, when that civil rights movement happened, he was breaking the law.
Yeah.
You're breaking the law. Black people, what do? You don't have the right to vote, nor should you have it. And we're going to show you what we mean about that. You fight in every war. Historic, the black men would come back from World War II, given their lives. They come back and they'd hang a few purposely to go, listen, you might have went over there, but let me tell you something. It didn't change here. This is
Anthony from Westport. Welcome to the conversation. You're on the air with Wayne Winston and myself. Hi, Anthony. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Anthony.
Hi. Good morning. I may have mentioned this before to you, Lisa, but my late spouse, he was in the service. He was older than I am. He passed on. And in the 60s in Louisiana, he was stationed there. And there was a black man who was coming to the barracks to stay, and no one would bunk with him. And it wasn't a big deal. Nobody cared that this guy was not having a place to stay. This was in the 60s. Mm-hmm. So Peter bunked with him. And, but anyway, Peter never told me about this. But later on, we were going down south to visit his family, and we went to visit that friend. And he said it was an old Air Force friend. And so when I got there and met the friend, he said, Peter was wonderful to me. And I said, Peter never told me about this. And Peter said there was nothing to tell.
Right. Because it was just being a human being. For him, it was not a big deal. Yeah.
And I think what's going on in this country is prejudice. It's horrible. And I just hope and pray that we overcome this.
Thank you so much. What he just told you has happened so much in our communities. Our history is painful. I have my father-in-law. He has nightmares right now. And it's a personal story. You don't get that deep. He has nightmares about when he was young. Two reasons. One, his sister got bitten by a snake because they were down in the Carolinas. And he put his sister in a wheelbarrow because his mom was working. and him and his brother, he put in a wheelbarrow and pushed him all the way to the hospital, and they wouldn't let him in. I want to say he was like 8 years old.
For a snake bite?
Wouldn't treat his sister.
What happened to
he
your
pushed
sister?
her to another. He was trying to push her to another hospital. By the time the mom found out and caught up with him, she died.
The sister died from the snake bite because they wouldn't treat the poison?
They wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't do it. So the indifference.
What state was this?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
The indifference that we have when it comes to that, what a society can do, what a system can do, looking at what is happening now is, gentlemen, call it, is there anything you don't like? I mean, right now, I'm seeing LGBTQ. Mm-hmm. The Air Force just said, if you're gay, you're not getting any of your benefits. You're done. I mean, there's a litany, and I send you a ton of them. There's a litany of them.
What do you mean you're not getting your benefits if you were gay? What do you mean?
They are cutting
what does that mean? How can they do that?
U.S. Air Force to deny U.S. Air Force to deny retirement pay to transgender service members. That's the headline. Being separated from the service. Okay, that's the Associated Press that reported this.
So in other words, first they're firing them, and then they're saying if you earned a pension, you can't get it?
Can't get it.
We're going to be right back. We got a break for a commercial. 203-333-9422. We're on the air with Wayne Winston. We'll be right back.
The Lisa Wexler Show on WICC 600 AM and 107.3 FM. And whenever you want when you subscribe to Lisa's Daily Podcast.
For over 50 years, Mosaic Senior Life has been a leader and trusted provider of skilled nursing and senior care services. Mosaic Senior Life provides person-centered, customized care. They provide a residence, not an institution. Here's President and CEO of Mosaic Senior Life, Andrew Banoff.
One of my favorite statistics that I'll share is the average life expectancy in a nursing home in the United States is about a year. The life expectancy in our nursing home is 4 years because people do better, live longer, are more engaged. Most importantly, their health and nutrition is better. Lots of research all across the country, not just from us, but there's clear evidence that this concept makes it better for seniors and their families, better social engagement, better quality of life, and having that privacy and dignity that we strive for has proven to be true.
With exceptional staff and a full spectrum of services, Mosaic Senior Life takes the guesswork out of finding quality senior care. Get started online at MosaicSL.org, a new independent living community in development in Stamford. MosaicSL.org.
Whoever said all good things must come to an end did not have a Renai tankless water heater. Hi, this is Seamus from Tri-City Home Solutions. Renai tankless water heaters offer unlimited hot water for the most demanding residential and commercial applications. You can save up to $1,000 on the installation of a new water heater now until August 31st with Tri-City and Renai. Visit us at TriCityHomeSolutions.com. Never run out of hot water again.
Call 203-877-HEAT, Tri-City.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's the Lisa Wexler Show.
We're back with Wayne Winston. This from today's headlines. The Trump administration is weighing plans that would create a domestic civil disturbance quick reaction force composed of National Guard troops tasked with being ready around the clock to be deployed into U.S. cities that are facing any protests or unrest. This according to Pentagon documents reviewed by the Washington Post. The proposal calls for 600 troops stationed across military bases in Alabama and Arizona to be on constant standby so they can be deployed in as little as 1 hour. What, going into a helicopter or plane and swooping down on New York City if there's a protest in front of the UN building?
I don't think
I'm just saying that's what this domestic civil disturbance quick reaction force implies. Or going to Portland or Minnesota, right?
Well, they can, as far as I know, the National Guard can only deal in the state that they're in. So they're in a red state, and they'd have to use the ones that are in like Pennsylvania, et cetera, et cetera. That's my understanding.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
That, like,
you mean
National
you need
Guard,
the governor's okay? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but it looks like he's circumventing that, doing what he's got to do. That's like having your own army, and it's not necessary. We live in the United States. I mean, protesting is our right as American citizens. It's the Constitution. But then again, I know there's some people who don't care about the Constitution, and they make their own Constitution. In which case, you can have whatever you want. And it's a battle for us. It's a battle for us as people to stay strong, be ready to be in the voting booths. If you don't like what's going on, the only thing you can do is take the House back next year, because that's the first place, because this is a political thing. There aren't but so many votes going on. Democrats can protest, they can do everything, but they just don't have the power. And leading out, we have our friend Steve, who was on, who's building housing.
Developer in
Steve Eaton.
Bridgeport.
And he was building some housing, like 300 units here in the Bridgeport area. And it was going to be workforce development and regular housing.
Yeah, really nice housing, actually.
So there's something called the CRA, Community Reinvestment Act, which comes from banks supplementing to make sure stuff gets done. And he lost somewhere around $750,000 because they cut that funding out as well. So,
all right, we're going to talk about more real-life implications for all of this. Wayne, thank you so much for coming on the show every Wednesday. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. It's the best 15 minutes you've ever gotten. You know it right here, okay? WICC, the Lisa Wexler Show.
We'll be back tomorrow.
And maybe we'll find if we are.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Strong words from Ukraine's President Zelensky ahead of President Trump's Friday summit with Vladimir Putin.
I've told the American president and all of our European region